Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Today, I have Manisha here. So, Manisha is a psychologist and a counselor. Sorry, it's a therapist and a counselor. I'm sorry. And we began with the first question. Is I would like to ask you, Manisha, is what do you think is mental health according to you? How do you define mental health in your own words?
See, mental health is a healthy well-being of mind. How a person takes care of their physical health, mental health is equally important. So, mental health is like having a balanced mindset towards everything in life.
Okay.
As we say, physical health, you should not be having. There's a fat percentage. So, mental health also has some parameters. Like you should be balanced in every area of your life. That is mental well-being, and it's a very very important aspect
Mhm.
of our being and our existence. It's more important than our physical health, because our physical health is governed by our mental health. If you don't feel fine, you're gonna abuse your body in any case. If you're gonna feel nice, you would take care of your body.
Yeah. True. True. Yeah.
I think I'd sum up for laymen to understand what mental health is.
Yeah, it does. It does. So would you be happy to speak about today's topic and what we're going to discuss about in today's session? It would be great too.
Yes, we will. We shall talk about today's topic. Why don't you start with it and I'll follow you up?
Sure. Okay. Great. So we are going to speak about social anxiety and what it does. I have already done a video on social anxiety, but it was not with a professional. It was by myself there on the camera. Today I am with Manisha again. So it's going to be about more concentrated on workplaces. So yeah, Manisha. So first question about this is you as a professional, how do you define social anxiety? What is social anxiety?
See, what say social anxiety is like you not being comfortable in an environment which is not like your kind of I'd say an environment where you are not comfortable. That is social anxiety. It can be with one person, it can be with two people, it can be with 1,000 people. It
Mhm.
depends, differs from person to person. Like social anxiety can be somebody coming to my house and I don't like that person. I can get anxious. That is because I have to interact socially with that person, so
Yeah.
that can give anxiety. So there are different parameters of social anxiety. It can be at work, or somebody would be really comfortable at work and would have anxiety just meeting probably they're just clients because they're unknown to them.
Yeah. Great. That
So
sums up
that
certain.
is social anxiety, depending on what your comfort zone is.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So we, as I said, we are going to be concentrating more at a workplace. So that's bring me to the question: is how can a certain person can, if is socially anxious, can handle anxiety at workplace?
See, when a person knows that they get anxious, they really need to work on themselves. Okay, first thing foremost, I reach out to everybody. I know it can be difficult. It's easier said than done for others. Like, oh, why can't you just stand up and talk in front of five people? See, we all are damaged in some way or the other. So my heart reach out to all of you guys. So there's no pressure. First thing is, if you have anxiety at workplace, how do you deal with that? First thing, you need to talk to yourself. What is bothering you? What is the worst that can happen? Maybe start writing it down.
Mm,
That's the first step of you taking. Like, if you say, oh, what if my boss doesn't like my work? If that's your anxiety, or why, like, am I good enough? Is everybody judging me at work? If that's your anxiety, put that down on a piece of paper, whatever is your anxiety, and ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? And what's the best that can happen? Because our mind plays tricks. Okay, our mind can create whatever we want. So I'd say, if you have an anxiety saying, oh, my boss would not like my work, is then ask yourself, what could I do to make this better? Okay, give yourself challenges, and try getting into techniques like calming yourself. Take deep breaths, it's really everybody says it, but if you're anxious, just take deep breaths and see the shift in the energy. It'll suddenly center you.
yeah.
Talk to a dear one. went out your emotions on paper. Like you can do so many things. Like my today's post actually on Instagram is how can you deal with anxiety. I put down these things, walk in the nature, like ground yourself a little in a space with work, especially when you are. Try keeping comfortable things, like carry something which comforts you. you know
Mm.
Maybe have a lucky charm or something. Keep a pebble or a stone, keep looking at it and say, oh, this is going to give me good luck.
Yeah.
It was just playing a trick with your mind, like, oh, this is going to take care of me. A lot of people, sometimes people with anxiety need, I would say they need like gadgets, they need tangible things to see, okay, this is there, sometimes. Or call up a friend and talk for some time a day. It helps.
Yeah.
And be very short with your work. Keeping yourself relaxed
Hmm.
with every given point of time helps again. Not having too much caffeine. It's like a total no-no with people with anxiety, because that's going to trigger, and people kind of keep doing that and they become like more nervous.
Hmm.
So these are the things people can start doing at workplaces, like small, small things, and they'll start seeing effect.
Okay, okay. So next thing is very one of I would not say anything. It's like a normal topic, just but maybe could be we get into deeper to that. I would love if you can get into us to the deeper of that is women anxiety and the workplace.
Oh, all you women, y'all are such multitaskers. Like, because I know I'm handling a house, I have work. And so what happens is there's a constant pressure on women. Like, we should be able to perform everything. I mean, it's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah,
have to prove a point to anybody. It's fine. Women at work constantly, because they have to manage home, they have to manage work, and there's more pressure to prove yourself. Because you know what, I don't want to sound a feminist, but usually men do get like a free pass most of the times. Most of the times, not all the time, but women, she's working, she still has to manage her house mentally. Maybe she has help, everything, but she has to organize everything. So for them, the pressure gets a little more. So all you lovely ladies, more power to you all. So when you get anxious at work, I would say be easy on yourself. Don't be really strict with yourself. It's okay to make mistakes. Calm down. Count to 10, laugh at your mistakes, and be more kinder to yourself. The more kind you're to yourself, things will be with ease. And again, or with women, I'd say try when you're at work, try and disconnect things at home. You know what? You
mm,
can't do everything at one time. You need to be loyal to one thing at a time. Like if you're at work, focus there. We'll figure out when we get home what we have to cook, okay, or how you have to organize food. You will figure it out. Somebody will help you. Just leave, sometimes surrender to the higher power, or just say, you know what, like I know somebody will help me out. The
mm.
more you do that, more easy it will become, for people, women. It's like a way of doing it, tricking yourself and saying that, okay, fine, you know what, I'll figure a way out. But disconnect, segregate your life. Don't try to do more than two things at a time, please. Or because I know I do that and it kind of does work me up also. So be easy on yourself. I would say all you women for anxiety.
Okay, okay. And if a lady has a baby, or of course, when you are a mother, you love your children. Of course, you love your work also, but you love even your children's. And if how could a woman who is socially anxious could just do one thing, but not get worried about his child or her child? Sorry, yeah,
Okay, this is a very nice question, actually. A lot of women who recently given birth to their babies, but they still want to work also. Remember, all you women, look, if you want to enjoy motherhood, be justful to yourself. Take that time off. And if you have chosen not to, then rely on people who you kind of have let your child be with. Because if
mm,
you're going to be in two boats, nor are you going to be happy, or you're constantly going to be living with guilt. So that will create a lot of anxiety. Oh, I'm not being fair to my child, I'm not being fair to my work. That's going to break you down. And it's very important when you kind of taken a path, fine, I have a baby, but I choose to work because monetarily maybe you want to work, and things are tough, for some people. They have to work, maybe she doesn't want to, but she has to. But I'm sure there's an alternative that they find, like somebody or parent or like a grandparent, someone taking care of the baby back home. First thing, have utmost faith in that person.
Hmm.
If you can't, don't sail into woods, because you are going to hamper your relationships. You're going to hamper your relationship with yourself also, because you're going to constantly criticizing yourself.
Okay.
And that's not going to be healthy to move forward and achieve something. And that's going to have a huge impact on your child. Your child doesn't want a restless mother. The child
Hmm.
wants a happy mother. Okay.
Yeah.
The child is just going to observe the energy the parent carries or the caregiver carries. If the caregiver is constantly worried, what will the mother say? She's also going to say, Arey, you know what, your mom will say this, you will. So the kids are meaning making machines. So please be kinder and gentler with yourself. You've taken a path, keep full faith in that person and say it will be taken care of. We need to surrender. Anxious, a lot of people are anxious because they don't want to lose control. I want to do this, I want to do this, if I want to do that.
Yeah.
You can't control if we decided to meet on a certain time. If I am 10 minutes late, you can't control that. You can enjoy those 10 minutes waiting for me, or you could just crib, like, oh, she's late, oh, she's late, right? The choice is yours.
Hmm. Hmm. True. True. And when the next question I had is, when we move, like, if a company's boss or you are the manager, you don't you
Your
can't.
videos hang.
Okay. Okay.
No,
So
again, your connection.
so when you come to a boss of a company, he's a manager of a company, he or she is already in so much of tension and all those things. How do you think, um if that person is, how can that person manage anxiety as a leader?
So, well, I genuinely feel, and that I've been telling a lot of corporates who I meet in HR, and like people who are in the industry, like, they have high pressure working hours, and there's a constant pressure to perform. I genuinely feel these guys need to have a work culture of, when you come in, to do some breathing exercises every 3 hours.
Mm,
Because what happens is, they don't realize that they are straining themselves there. Sometimes you're in so much rush, things are right in front of you, you can't think straight. So what you need to do is, it should be a culture. Like, if you are a head, like, as you said, if you're a leader, you need to take that time out. There's something called me time. When I'm taking mindfulness workshops or whatever, I tell people, what is me time? Me time is something where you're adding value to yourself, for you to function to an optimum level. Like, we all have a bandwidth of working. For example, our cell phones, your battery is 100% charged in the morning, but as you're working throughout the day, your battery would go down, and you need to recharge yourself, and you need to take that break for your own efficiency. To taking a break, being calming yourself down, and breathing exercises in an environment like this is so important. Or playing a soothing music for 5 minutes. Or there's a culture in a company, I know, that after anybody who's done something good, they start clapping, for 30 seconds. So what clapping does is, it kind of it sends a vibrating energy. Second is,
mm,
you're kind of touching all the pressure points in your body. So it's
yeah.
very scientific. At the same time, it works. Everybody gets motivated, and everybody's done hurrah, and the day starts again with the same bouncing energy. So all you leaders out there, everybody gets stressed. Pause, break, step back, take those 10 minutes for you to have another 2 hours of it, like optimum utilization of your own resources. So don't think about these 10 minutes being wasted. Think about these 2 hours being optimum utilized, which are going to come ahead. Very
Hmm.
important. So all corporates should include meditation, like 5 minutes, or making do gratitude for 10 minutes. It shifts your energy.
Okay. Okay. So how to build a career if somebody is socially and anxious?
Okay. Lakshit, people who are socially anxious, they need to first thing know what they are good at.
Mm.
Okay, they should know. Mostly these are the kind of people who are introverts, and they are very good at something or the other, especially art. So they should have a way of letting their emotions out. It's art, or it's writing, or it's music. Whatever your point of letting things out, you should know that. So, every single time you get anxious, you can go back to that thing, be and work on that and let it out and go back and function. And people who have constant anxiety issues, I would say seek help. Look, don't live with it. Honestly, it's fine to live without fear and being anxious. You can live easily and be easy on yourself. Like, life is really beautiful.
Yeah.
If I tell you, if you're going being a strict principal to yourself, that's a choice you're making again. So try and work it, go to a counselor, go to a therapist. I've seen I've worked with people who are even 65 are actually seeing such fabulous results with anxiety. And if you are younger, you can achieve it so much more faster. So please don't live with it. Reach out for help. It's so important in today's day and age, because you're stopping your own growth somewhere or the other with stupid thought process of, oh, will I be judged, will I be able to do this? You just need to change that thought process, and it's pretty easy. With consistent small exercises, you will shift this. It's like going to the gym. If you go one day, you're not going to see the result. With consistency, you do see the results,
Mm.
right? It just works with that. Like, you are not going to get your six packs in a day. You have to be consistent with your efforts.
True, true. Yeah, I really agree upon that point. Yeah. So would you like to add upon some more things or speak about something, or maybe if you wish, you can just leave a message and we can conclude this session.
Well, I think we've spoken a lot about anxiety. So I'm just going to say, guys, this is a choice that you're making. Our life
Mm.
is full of choices that we make.
Yeah.
I have been someone, I'm going to talk with my own experiences. I never believed in myself. I ever doubted, how will I be able to help someone? And people came back and said, listen, you're really good at your work. And I took baby steps, and I wasn't ready to come on social media, and I started putting on one or two messages because my friends pushed me. And the heartwarming response I get from people saying that, thank you, because of you,
Mm.
I kind of made this change. Like, I was going to commit suicide. And, like, they are such things that I feel, oh God, I can help people. So we underestimate our own power. Please don't do that. Maybe you don't believe in yourself, but there are the talent that we have. We all are born with something. Please tap into it, use it, reach out, use this life for doing good to others. It'll come back to you in tenfolds. It sounds like gyan, but trust me, I'm living it. It's a very beautiful way of living. Yeah, I've been on that side, and I am on this side, so I can say this with utmost confidence. Please don't live a life in unawareness and insecurities. It's not worth it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
that would be my message. Thank you, Lakshit, for having me over.
My
It was
pleasure.
really nice talking.
It was my pleasure. Ultimately, I enjoyed this session personally. It was great, and hope people watching this who get help by this session. So thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Thank you.